Cotman, Crawford, and the Jersey Guy podcast.
Hey everybody, Kenny Cotman.
Lewis Crawford.
And I'm Tom Ramage, the Jersey Guy.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's going on,
What's going
gentlemen?
on, everybody?
How's everything?
How are you?
Good.
All right. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Real good, real good.
Yes.
So,
Welcome.
thank you very much.
We got our friend here, Steve, again with us.
Now we got
Yeah.
a nice video.
Yeah.
video.
Now you know what he
Got a
looks
face,
like.
yeah.
He did a podcast with us on therapy.
Yep.
That was a good podcast.
Yes, it was.
So we figured we'd have him back again for sports.
Yep.
Because I know he was a big sports fan. He's a baseball fan. I know he's watching the Olympics. I know I'm watching the Olympics. So all that's going on. I thought that would be a good topic to talk about, especially now that the Olympics are going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Sports are always good.
Yeah,
always
for
good.
sure.
Talk about sports all the time.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I fell off of sports. A couple of people in sports that I was like, ugh. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I'm wearing all black because I'm the black sheep of the group.
Yeah,
Because
you
I'm not a
see,
big
yeah.
sports
he's-
guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's good. I'll give my point of view. You know,
Yeah.
whatever
No.
I can.
Yeah.
But he is
you
a
know,
Yankee fan.
I am a
Yeah,
Yankee
see.
fan. I have
So
I
is-
have periods in my life when I was into maybe a certain sport or something.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself like a sports guy.
Yeah, no, I'm more of the football. I'm not too much into baseball. I know you guys are heavy baseball.
Football,
Baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
Football,
Big
baseball.
Mets
And
number one
hockey.
for me.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
hockey.
hockey, right? Yeah,
And
no,
hockey for me, for
I'm
sure.
football. Not so much baseball, but I'm a Mets fan. Brought up, raised
so
Mets
Well,
fan.
some of us would say
said-
that's not really baseball. So.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so you're kind of like a bandwagon thing. So when they're doing good, you might be like,
Oh, no.
yeah, Mets doing
I
good."
always rep Mets no matter what.
Okay.
I'll talk shit about Yankees and everybody
Right.
else all day long.
Okay.
I always represent the Mets,
Gotcha.
never anybody else,
Right.
for baseball. But, so it's not jumping on the bandwagon. I
Right.
just always, I just don't follow them enough. Like I almost feel like I'm like superstitions because I'm like, I don't want to watch them because then they're going to end up losing for real.
I think everybody
I just
has.
hear about
The
it.
reality
Yes.
is, being a Mets fan, there's not too many times we get to jump on a bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, wait, listen.
Pretty much.
Years
Yeah.
in between.
I kind of do that probably with football for me.
Okay.
Me, football, because I'm a Jets fan and
Right.
they suck. And just for me, if they're doing good, I watch. But as soon as I see them playing hard, I just shut it off. I
Yeah.
don't even bother put myself through that torture through the whole game.
Yeah.
I'll watch a Giant game or another football game just to watch. Or I kind of flip through football. With hockey, I'm watching hockey
Right. That's it.
all the way through. Man.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite sports for sure.
And you said you don't watch none.
No, I mean, I watched Yankees for a while, and then after like the whole I think like Jeter was like the last person to retire from the
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's never,
Yeah.
I kind of stopped getting into it after that. I don't know.
Right.
I know there's a lot of Judge fans and stuff like that.
Oh,
and,
he's
you know,
he's
and
good
it's
at
funny
baseball.
because I if I saw him in the street, I wouldn't know who he was.
Right. Yeah.
He'd be a
no.
really tall guy.
Actually,
I wouldn't be like that guy's really tall. I would be like, that's my Judge. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
That's how I
okay.
would know.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, Mike Judge is.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, see?
See,
See?
I'm
Mike Judge is
really bad.
not Family Guy.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and
Right,
Butthead.
yeah.
That's
Office.
It's
freaking
actually
great.
it's
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
knocking
that's
over
how
the
bad.
thing.
See,
breaking
that's how
shit in.
really bad. How
Yeah.
off I am. I like I said, I don't watch it.
Well, so that then, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to start off with a question for you guys.
Sure.
Well, most of you guys, because you're into it more. So,
yeah.
like I said, the reason why I fell off of really watching, football. Football is my number one. I stopped watching so much because of Brady. I can't
He's
stand.
not playing anymore.
Listen, Linda, I can't stand Brady. Right? Can't stand Brady.
Okay.
Because I feel like he has taken away like what the game was. You know what I mean? And then now basketball, LeBron is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like and throwing like just like flailing on the floor. And it's like,
Right.
are you serious? You know, and Brady, you've got the ball,
hit
you're the
him.
quarterback. They're trying to
They
get
changed
you.
rules for him.
Right, and they
rules for
changed
LeBron.
They did.
and all that stuff. So then now with baseball, I said I don't follow baseball the same way. But
It's not the same
is
with
there
baseball.
are there like he he strikes out.
No,
Yeah, like the prima donna, like he strikes out. They're throwing the bats or
it's
whatever.
not like that in baseball. You can't because it's a team more of a not well. Basketball is too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but with baseball, I don't know
There's a
if you
lot
could
of
do. You
passing.
can change rules
It's like
because of a
requires a
certain
lot more.
player.
Well, they did the catcher rule a number of years back when Buster Posey got.
That's right.
When he got trampled at home.
Right, he got
and
mowed down.
And also when in 2015 was it 2015 when Ruben Tejada of the Mets got taken out at second base.
Right.
So now you
Right.
have
Chase
to,
Utley.
the
So
catch has
they
to kind of
do
move out of the way now,
They
right?
can't block the plate unless they have the ball.
unless they have
unless
the
they
ball.
have the ball.
Okay.
So,
And now, okay, so
And
I got it.
is that both leagues, national and
Yes,
Yep.
both.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
MLB? It's not
Absolutely,
because I know
yeah.
there's some rules with National League and American.
Yeah,
League,
no,
but
well, that's different as far
Strike
as the way
zone
you know
and,
you
yeah.
can. I think you can have
pitchers.
a pitch hitter in American League, but you can in.
no, everything's there's
it's-
just one set of baseball rules.
Oh, now it's all the way through now.
Yep.
They
Oh, they
changed. They
changed
did change it.
a couple years ago. Yeah,
They
with,
did.
with interleague play, they just kind
All
of
right,
changed.
fine.
There's not even
see,
there
so
used
So
to be-
pitchers don't bat anymore.
no pitchers bad anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there used to be like American League,
Except
and
for
National
one
League
on the
umpires.
Angels.
So yeah, but not when he's pitching.
Not when he's pitching,
I
but
don't think so. I don't think when he's pitching.
Are you
So-
sure? We'll have
No,
to
I'm
check
not.
that.
I'm not
And
sure.
there's always
Well, I have to check
that.
that.
And so both
Yeah.
leagues have just DHs now. Or
Both
no?
leagues, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm glad. See,
yeah.
now I was a little bit behind on that.
Right, yeah,
That was
yeah.
a big
Okay.
icing
Because
thing too, because
it took them so long to get
Right,
there, and
yeah.
that was the only reason why.
Because
And I
of
didn't
certain
realize that they
rules.
did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Well,
they did it.
it added players. It gave another player. So like an older player who was no longer effective in the field, but still can hit. Like the Mets have JD Martinez.
Right.
Right.
He's a great hitter. A lot of guys really good hitters. So they keep
they
keep
kept-
an extra player. There's an extra player that doesn't lose a job because he can't play the
So
field
basically,
anymore.
just
So
took over
Right.
American League rules.
mostly, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, also in baseball, they did this too. If you go into extra innings, they put a guy on second, which I hate. So, like, if it's extra innings, it's extra innings.
Right. Yeah.
But now they put the guy on second, so they score quicker, and then the game is over. Obviously, home team gets last lick, so
Right.
if they get up and they're ahead.
So then now you say that the new rules they put in this year, right? I think this is the first season that they're doing it, that the game is shorter.
No, they started that last year.
It was
or
last
2
year?
years
Okay.
ago, yeah.
All right.
But the games are much shorter, yeah.
Right. Now
Because
is it
of the pitching.
Well, because there's the pitch clock.
right?
There's the batter has to be in, ready to hit
Right.
at a certain amount of time. I forget what it is. It's like
Yeah, he
15
can't
seconds
do
or
what
something
Jeter
like that.
used to do his
Right.
gloves all the
Remember,
time.
no
Yeah.
Garcia
Yes.
Parra with the
Yeah. I remember.
so stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's superstition. a lot of that.
Yeah,
Right.
But they cut that out
But they
now.
can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
you have,
they cut it
yeah,
out.
I think you get one timeout per at bat. So like if you're coming low on the clock, the batter can call a timeout and he gets to step out, and then he can mess around with his gloves and his bat and his helmet and all that stuff. So
Right.
but it does
Okay.
speed it up quite a bit.
Now is it making it more exciting? 'Cause I said I haven't watched.
Listen, when the games are good,
Right.
they're good. You know, then you like the game. You know, and usually it doesn't go in
You
extra
can have a
innings.
slow game.
So
Yeah.
then you're fine with that. But I think the thing like we were talking about baseball with like you were saying, like when Brady got hit,
Right. Yeah.
LeBron. The thing with me with baseball players, I'm sorry, but hockey players and football players are probably the toughest.
Hockey definitely.
Hockey,
Oh,
hockey
yeah.
definitely. Baseball players, they hurt a toe and they're out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit to me.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Tape that shit up, put it in, you're making a lot of money. I'm serious.
Yeah,
no,
I'm with you,
I
bro.
I mean, it just, for
Yeah.
me, it doesn't make sense how, and then look at these gymnasts in the Olympics.
Yes.
They tape their legs up, they're
Yup.
doing all these crazy flips. I mean, it's unbelievable. And a baseball player is
Yeah.
out for 3 weeks because, he has an oblique pull, or come on.
But
You're
wait.
not going to tell me those guys back in the day when they were playing ball.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
They
They
had
didn't have
to.
those issues, and they played through.
I
it.
know their mentality is they want to be 100%.
I get it,
What-
but
what-
still, it's
but
just
still.
idea.
But it's also
I know, like you could be at 99%. You know, you
Yeah.
could have a
I'm 99.3%. I've got to wait.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
But then now, so there was the thing that was being said about them taking, like, they say that they pulled a hammy or whatever, and it really wasn't. They just wanted to take days off because they.
Well, you can always ask
So,
the manager. for
well, I was
days
just saying,
off.
but I thought it was a thing that they weren't supposed to get like a day off or whatever. They just got to come and play.
Most
And,
players like Judge they'll either make him the
The DH.
DH, and then someone will play the outfield.
Okay.
That's his day off. All he's
Okay,
doing is
okay.
hitting. Or he won't play at all. They'll do that too. I know they do that with the Mets.
And
But
there's
most teams do.
A lot of times they do with catchers too, or older players. But then you get guys like, again, I'm a Mets guy, so I can talk Mets all
Yeah.
day. But like Francisco Lindor, I mean, he averages 160 games a year. So I mean, he misses 2 games. Guy did something to his finger last year to like hit it in between sliding glass doors, couldn't bend it. He missed like 1 game. So I mean that's it. These guys, some guys are gamers and they play all
They'll
the
play
time.
through it,
you
yeah.
know, yeah. I think sometimes it also depends on your contract too. I mean, if you're a star with a big contract and you need a day off, you're taking it off. If you're a young player who's looking to get a big contract and show what he can do, I mean, you're gonna have
wanna play
your
every day.
intestines gonna
Yeah.
be hanging out and you're playing.
You're playing every day, right?
Put me in,
Exactly.
coach. I'm good.
that's great.
sure.
Yeah. All right, cool beans. Those are my questions, stuff.
I hate
Go ahead, go
defending
ahead. No,
LeBron
Go ahead.
because he's become like that big whiny baby. But one thing we got to say about LeBron is he's been in the league for how long
time
now?
now.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Never a scandal. You never hear that he's at strip clubs cheating on his wife.
Right.
You never hear that he's involved in drugs or gambling. You never hear any bad
very
stuff.
clean
And
boy.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He donates millions of dollars to charity. I think every year, like he has a college or a school where everyone goes for free.
Okay.
In Cleveland.
Right.
So like, as far as being a good guy.
Yeah, no.
there's
I'm not
none
talking
better.
about. Yeah,
But
no.
he's-
Like,
but he's
kinda-
become a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah, I'm
basketball
not talking
side.
about that.
Yeah.
Right.
But like you're saying, he's kind of like that very like stand up person, like
Yeah.
like Jeter or Jordan,
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
So my question is, has he become that way later as he got into his career, or was he like that even in the beginning?
Probably last 5 or so years.
Yeah,
So
that
he's
he just
older
got that
now
crazy.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, again, he's just taking the playbook out of Brady's.
Out of-
You know,
yeah.
like he just said, I can't even think of the words without sounding totally like messed up. You know, I mean, I just think he's the bitch of the basketball court. You know, you're there, you're playing basketball, you play a little bit harder.
Right.
You know, you're a big dude. You know. You coming through the paint,
Right.
get in there, hit that layup. Don't
I
sit
don't
there
know.
and you know
I didn't
people
know
like
that.
this.
Honestly, I didn't know that about LeBron.
Yeah,
And I'm not a
dude,
big basketball
yeah,
fan.
and as
so
far
I
as
don't watch it.
for me, and as far as LeBron is concerned, is that LeBron, a lot of his early years was being carried by some of the greats. You know what I mean? Him getting in, he would play with Kobe. He played
okay,
with
I got
Jordan.
you, yeah.
Like they're the ones that he was a good player. I'm not saying he wasn't, but to what it is now, I think he fell off. You know, he doesn't have that. Like calling him a GOAT. There's no way on God's green earth that this man is one of the greatest players of all time. He's not that kind of good.
Well, some would argue with you, obviously.
Exactly.
And when you bring up
That's-
Jordan, people say, like, I remember watching Shaq talking to, I forgot what player he was talking to, but he was on, I think it might have been ESPN or something. And the guy was talking about LeBron.
Right.
And then he was comparing him to Jordan.
Right.
And he was like,
Yeah, no.
no.
I think he said,
No.
he goes. I think he said something along like LeBron is great. He's great, but he's not as good as Jordan.
Yeah,
Right.
Jordan,
Nobody was as good as Jordan.
Yeah, no. The second person to come as close as Jordan would be Kobe.
Kobe, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you can
You
go
know,
down the
that's-
line, actually.
Right,
Because
yes.
each generation at the time, there was always another player or somebody
Right,
that
yeah.
or a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
No, that's like a legendary status. to
Right,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Jordan is, like,
For
it's
all that they
very
did.
hard to.
But then if you look at how they played, so the same thing it says, you know, even with baseball, you know, like I think that they are giving a lot of these players way too much credit because, as far as breaking records are concerned, correct me if I'm wrong, the seasons were shorter back when.
Yeah.
So that then all that they did in a shorter season, that's a record breaking.
Baseball or
In any sport, as far as I'm
sport,
concerned,
yeah.
you know what I
They
mean?
were shorter,
Or
yeah.
the seasons
now
were
they're
way
playing
shorter,
much longer.
right? So of course,
expansion teams and
right,
all
yeah.
that's coming
So that
in.
then now, if, 100 and how many games now in the
162 in baseball.
in baseball? So now you
what
figure
was it originally back in the day?
I think it was in the like 140s, and
So-
then they went to 150. But also, I mean, you went from the players weren't as good. I don't,
Right.
They weren't as good.
But for their
back then.
time, they were.
For their time, they were, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to now,
Now-
I mean, these guys, no matter what sport, they are bigger, faster, stronger
yeah.
Right.
than they've ever been. It's unbelievable.
but they're
the
still
size
not
of
breaking
these
those records in the same season time as back
well,
when.
yeah, Judge has already. He got the 60. What was it? That
You got the
broke?
60. You got the 62. Yeah, for American League record.
Right,
Yeah.
he got
But was it under the 140
Yeah.
games?
No, it was 162.
It was
games.
during the season. Yeah, it was.
But that's what I'm saying. So the 140 games back when, and who's holding the records? The
Yeah, but
record for the most home runs.
But Babe Ruth,
All right. So then how? And he did it in a 140 season game.
140 games. You mean?
140 games
Right.
in a season.
Right.
So that
Or
then
whatever
now,
it was back then.
right?
also
So then,
playing against subpar competition than there was today.
'cause-
So
And then you got you're right. And again, for that time, those players were the best for
We
that
didn't
time,
have the
right? So now you
same
look at it now.
information about nutrition and health.
well, I hear
fitness
that.
we
I'm
have
just
today.
saying, like for me and how it
You can't
registers
look
in
at
my
it that
head.
way, though.
I think it's
Because-
impossible to really compare.
Could
like
you
that.
imagine though?
Yeah, you can't compare it. You can't because it's the same with hockey. It's the same with football. If you look at players, even in football, when we were growing up, compared to now, the players are faster, they're bigger,
Right.
they're stronger.
Right.
For
And they're
that
always-
time,
and they're always
they
in
were
shape.
faster, they were bigger, they were stronger,
Well,
right?
they have better scouts now too,
right?
and stuff
And
like that.
the equipment changed, the rules were different, and everything progressed and changed a little bit to make the game a little better or whatever it was, or safer for the players, but I don't compare like that because when I see Judge do it and he's doing it in 162 games,
it is what it is.
it is. That's
Yeah,
good.
I hear you. I just don't.
good.
I don't agree with it. Is what I'm going to say.
But
I am with
but
that.
you got to understand, he's breaking the record with more games.
So that you
more
have more.
games.
Okay, I can run a mile, right? And you're telling me that now I can't do the 10-minute mile.
1820, you would have been an Olympic gold medalist.
You feel me? Right. And that's what I'm saying.
but you have
it
to
was a
look at-
shorter amount of time. Like I said, I can do anything in I can do whatever in 15 minutes. And I'm gonna be good at it practicing at this
but you
15
can't-
minutes.
But see, that comparison, hold 1 second, Tom. That comparison for me doesn't work because when players were playing at the time, even in the Olympics back in the day, people who did marathons, whatever it was, triathlons, everything, for that time, everything progresses, right? We get better as we move on,
Right.
Whether it's physically, mentally, both.
Right.
The food gets better. Like Tom was just saying,
Weight training.
everything. We got to remember, baseball players back in the day, when they were doing it, they had jobs during the winter
Right.
time.
That's what I was going to say. Football
didn't
players
have-
too.
football
Yeah.
players
Football
too.
players too.
So-
And they got in shape during spring training
Right.
and
Right.
preseason.
Right.
Whereas now they're in shape 365 days a
days a
year.
year.
Right.
Right. And
Yeah.
they're getting more injured now than they did before because I think back then they didn't get as injured. And if they did, they didn't say anything and they played through it. So
Right.
it's going back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Money.
Right.
And
I
they,
hear
right.
you.
Exactly.
I hear you.
So, I understand your point of
Yeah.
view, but go ahead.
I have a kind of overlapping one of our previous episodes recently, but like what if? Could you imagine if what if like Babe Ruth back in the day knew about they had the sports and nutrition, fitness,
Right.
and actually had him like
Yeah.
now?
peak shape because he was like,
Yeah.
he was a fat guy.
yeah,
and he
yeah,
was
yeah,
not
In
gonna-
the beginning, he wasn't. Not in the
But
beginning.
like, can you imagine if he was in like super peak shape?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Didn't have to go to his regular job.
And they didn't know
would've
what they
probably
knew
had-
now
Right.
about the
probably would've
body
had
and
Yeah.
how it works.
not like the records we have today,
Right.
But like if he was like training and like doing all that stuff with everything we have today, he'd probably be like,
And he was probably one of
double
the
his
highest,
conversely-
or the highest paid baseball
baseball
player back
back
then.
then. Yeah.
What if Babe Ruth played against the competition that there is today?
oh,
Right.
Would
he'd be done.
he be as good as he is?
Would he be able to hit the ball?
Hitting 100-mile-an-hour
Right.
fastballs,
Yeah.
splitters that drop into
Right.
hell
Right.
from a pitcher at 95 miles an hour, and curveballs that break
Yeah.
12-6.
Yeah.
We don't know.
You don't know,
You
but
don't
that's
know,
that's
so.
why I was saying, because for me, when you watch those old films and you see how they played or whatever, you appreciate it for the
Plus they don't
time
get
because
canceled anyway.
that's how they were that time. Now,
Yeah.
as time progressed, they
Right,
got better.
because
They got
And don't
stronger.
forget the competition too. There was no black or Hispanic players
Right.
back then.
That didn't
Yeah.
come until
Not-
later on.
Yep.
So-
And wasn't he a drinker and a smoker?
Oh
Yeah, well,
he's a big drinker.
Right.
and he loved to eat. He would eat hot dogs and shit before he played the game.
Right.
He'd go and he still freaking hit home runs and run around the bases and do whatever. I think he would. Was there also that he would drink during the game or something?
I
I
don't
think
know
or
about
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. Or he would have a
That's
beer or
great.
whatever.
But we always see him running fast because of the film.
Right, because-
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're like, how fast was
Yeah.
he really?
We were like-
so
Yeah. That's freaking great. That is so wrong. That is so wrong. That is freaking hilarious.
But that is a good what if.
But
You know,
it
I
wasn't
think
Yeah.
of that.
long ago
Yeah.
too. That don't forget, like remember all the players were like chewing tobacco and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Right? Yes.
some
Yeah.
still do.
They were
Just
smoking.
They got to hide.
Yeah.
Keith Hernandez used to
smoke-
smoke in the dugout. In the
Yeah.
Mets.
That's
In
right.
86,
Yeah.
You see pictures of him sitting in the dugout smoking a cigarette and
I
stuff.
forgot
Right, because he
about that.
did when they were playing Boston.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he thought the game was over. He went inside, right? He said he was watching it from the TV, and it's when Mookie Wilson hit the ball between Bruckner's legs.
Yes.
And then everybody they just started rallying, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Holy shit!" He had to run outside. He had to go back into the dugout because he thought they were going to lose the game. He thought it was over.
That's awesome. That is funny.
You know?
That is funny. Well, so that was the first half of the show. So I thank
First
you.
half?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know, that was my. I
okay.
had my questions and talk about the sports. So now they said, "What you want to talk about? You're the guest."
So, well, I could talk about baseball.
Yeah, I'm saying. What's
Football,
your-
I love football too. I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? But Dallas Cowboy. I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan because when I was about 10, 11, 12 years old, I fell in love with these tiny white shorts and this little blue
Stars.
this little blue top tied up with a little white vest on it, and these gorgeous women just dancing around and kicking their legs. And I was like, I've got to watch that. You know, I was a prepubescent kid, and man,
that's the team I'm
they
following.
got the cheerleaders.
That's awesome.
You got
that was it.
I wonder if that's how they became a popular.
So.
No, Dallas.
To add it to their popularity.
Maybe
that was a showman. I only remember them as being like the only cheerleaders back in the 70s. I mean, it was like 1975, 76 when I started following them, and I don't remember any other cheerleaders. And they were
even if the other teams had them, nobody
didn't
really
show them.
recognized them the way they did.
Yeah, they were just so famous, and I would get the Dallas Cowboy Weekly. That was my birthday present. My mom and dad would get me the subscription to the Cowboy newspaper that you'd get. I'd get it on Tuesday after the game. Like, so I'd be reading last week's game, but there were pictures of the cheerleaders, and there was all that stuff. And then as I got older, I followed. Now I watch the fucking men. I watch the football game.
Now you watch the game,
and you don't see the cheerleaders.
They don't see the
they had to get you in somewhere.
They got them somewhere, though.
Yeah. Well, that's funny.
I forget that stuff.
So,
like it's funny just how we forget so quickly with technology. Like, I'm like, oh, that's how fans stayed connected. They have like newspapers.
Dallas Cowboys. There was a football digest, but I think back in the 70s, like most teams had their own publication that you can get. Because my buddy who's a big Dolphin fan, he got like the Dolphin Digest, so which was a magazine. Mine was Dallas Cowboy Weekly was a paper. It was like how the Post is, like an open a newspaper colored and all that stuff. Yeah, it was great. It had recaps of the game. It would preview the upcoming game, which you usually would get it before that game, and again, you have pictures and all that stuff, and it was really cool. So I thought, and then I remember watching them a lot, but they probably weren't on as much as I thought. Like nowadays, you can go to sports bars. I mean, but I've been going to sports bars since I'm 18 to watch them.
And now they got 5 or 6 TVs, different games.
I love that, brother. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, like I go.
Or you have my friend has the package, so you can watch that or something like that.
Yeah,
but
what's the channel they have for MLB now? The one or is it football? They
Direct TV. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying on the channel they do every.
ESPN. It's every Red Zone.
Red Zone,
yeah.
And they just show highlights of every game.
Yeah,
right. Is that what it is?
Every Red Zone is 20-yard lines in. So whenever a team gets into the 20-yard line, that game will flash. They'll go to that game, and they'll go from game to game to game to game to game and stuff like that. Which is, I mean, it's pretty intense to watch. But I like watching my team. I mean, I like watching the Cowboys.
I get for me
until the playoffs.
If they made it that far,
then I don't get to watch them that long. So
well, I remember my first helmet was a Dallas Cowboys helmet. I had a Dallas Cowboys helmet. Then I wound up, following the Jets and everything. But now I'm boycotting the Jets this year because of, like you were saying about players.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't even want to say his name. You know who I'm talking about, the quarterback.
Yeah.
This guy annoys the shit out of me, man. It's just, it's like the Jets are always a joke because there's always something going on, some kind of drama, some kind of bullshit, some stupid crap. And then they get this guy who, locks himself in a room for 3 days. And
he's smarter than everybody.
Yeah, right. He's smarter. He knows better. And don't get me wrong. When he was playing ball, when he was on Green Bay, and he was, when he was playing good. And I thought, in the beginning, okay, we're going to get him. And when he got hurt in the first part of the game, I wasn't even upset.
Right.
I honestly, I was like, that figures.
Yeah,
that's the
course,
Jets for
that's
you.
The Jets.
This is exactly
the curse.
I knew something was going to happen because it was just too good to be true. And that's what happened.
Right.
And I was like, the rest of the season sucks.
You sure you're not a Mets fan?
So, yeah.
It's the Jets and the Mets.
They're right there.
So
that is hilarious, bro. I didn't think I was going to hear you say that.
Yeah, no. I would like to be able to watch a football game. So, like the Giants, I'll follow. I'll definitely follow the Giants.
Yeah.
But that'd be it. But if there are any other games, I'll just flip through and see the highlights or whatever's going on with the games for Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to take sports for what it is. It's entertainment.
Right.
You can't go fucking crazy at it anymore. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, when when we were younger, we do that. I mean, I used to take sports. My team lost. I was off the wall.
Oh yeah.
And it was 2006 when the Mets lost Game 7 to the Cardinals in the championship series. They lost. I was pissed off. I was angry. I was crying. I'll say it. I was crying at 40 years old or something like that. I was like,
you get emotionally invested.
Yeah.
I told my wife. I said, I'm going upstairs to go lay down. And I went upstairs, and my daughter, who was like two years old, she was lying in the bed sleeping, and I laid down next to her, and I just started rubbing her feet, and I was like, "What the fuck am I getting mad about?"
Right.
I was like, "This is
more important."
And I do not, and I love my sports, and I root my team, but I do not like after the game's over. That's
over.
it.
I was the same way.
done.
I did the same shit, but now I don't do that anymore. I don't like when the Rangers lose, but
you put so much heart into it. And I get it. I get it.
And after the game, when they lose, they go out to fucking dinner.
Yeah.
They go out. They're
having a good time.
They go out to dinner. They go to show as they should. It's a
job.
It's a job.
Right.
It's a game. That's what it is. And and the fans need to realize that it's a game. Fans.
I think they take it more serious than these guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. I think we do.
We get so mad when a player gets traded or when he signs with another team or something like that.
Right.
It's all part of the business for them. It is what it is.
Yeah, no. You got to sit in my house when football seasons, and because I'm a Giants fan, I appreciate Kansas City, because I just like the not jumping on the bandwagon. No, I just bug out with Mahomes and just how he plays or whatever.
He's a good player.
Yeah, and then my wife is a Buffalo Bills fan. So we sit there and I'm just flicking the channels, going back and forth and whatnot to all of them. I'm like, no, what the fuck? Jesus Christmas. And then she's like, Then I, put Dallas on because she's a Dallas fan. And I'm just like,
I told my son if we wanted, we could, I said, listen, if you don't want to follow the Jets anymore, because his wife and her family are Buffalo fans.
Oh.
And I said, and technically, they
Right.
truly are the only New York team
Right. Yes.
in football.
Right.
Jets aren't, Giants
Giants
aren't,
aren't.
because
Right.
they play in Jersey.
Right.
So it doesn't count. But Buffalo's the only one that doesn't. So I was like, yeah, I might go to Buffalo. I might just start running Buffalo. But I think I'm going to have the same heartache anyway, because
Yeah,
whatever.
no. Yeah.
They don't get to the Super Bowl either. So
Right. Yeah,
But
exactly right.
You know what Bills stands for, right?
Go ahead.
Boy, I like losing Super Bowls.
That's good.
That's great.
that's what used to be the Mets. Was my entire team sucks.
Sucks.
Yeah. Yes. That is the funniest shit ever, man. No. Listen, I like sports. I like to watch, and I sit on the weekends and I'll just flick everything. I'm watching golf. I'm watching car races. I'm watching bicycle races, motorcycle races, football, baseball, basketball. Bro, I've been watching pickleball. I've been watching lacrosse. Cricket. Do you know that United States was like in the finals in cricket?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Where did they go? Did they medal?
No. I'm talking like national cricket thing, not the Olympics.
Is it in the Olympics? Do you know?
Yes, I think it is in the Olympics.
We won rugby. The women's rugby won.
Yeah. That's another one. I was watching rugby last weekend.
I think there was a bronze, if I'm not mistaken, but they medaled, and I think it's been either it's the first time.
First medal that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's a hard game,
Dude. That is an insane game.
Yeah.
That looks painful all day long.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where football derived from when you look at it and just how it was.
And that's the thing, right? Like the culture is not into rugby in the United States, so there's not like a good selective players because our athletes are going to play football and baseball. The athletes aren't playing rugby.
But a lot of colleges
of
colleges here do play rugby.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the athlete that would have been good for rugby is playing football instead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like. You don't get this, so it's cool that we got it. So that's a big deal. Rugby's not like a big sport.
Yeah, are you guys watching the Olympics at all?
I haven't had a chance because I got the new job gig thing and
Just hearing about
second
it
job. So I haven't been able to sit and watch it.
Tanya's hooked on it. She's especially with the swimming and the gymnastics. You know, and
Well, I know the girl Lesky.
for swimming.
Yes, she's
She
swimming.
just won,
I saw the highlights. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like, does she have a motor on her feet, bro?
Yeah, but here's
she
the
was
thing.
gone.
France has won a lot of. It's kind of went down. They've been splitting them. France has won. Australia's won. And in America. I think those are the three, and I think Great Britain has got a few too.
Have you been watching the Olympics?
A little bit. My wife loves the gymnastics. So we were watching.
My wife loves
gymnastics last
Simone
night.
Biles, man.
Simone Biles and Sun Si Lee.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
Just how these women can just bounce and flip and I could barely walk up a stair.
Right.
And stuff like that.
I can't even paint without getting blasted in the head with a metal soap dish.
It was paint.
But listen, Simone Biles, they were talking about it the other night.
Yep.
When she's doing the floor routine, 12'5" in the air.
Really?
That's how high she's getting.
Jeez, bro.
And off the vault, it was 12'9" or something like that. I mean, she's hitting.
Yeah.
She's pure muscle.
Yeah,
right?
she is.
I mean,
you see her build, bro.
She's like 4'8".
Yeah.
Like my grandmother.
Unbelievable.
Dude, it's insane.
And just amazing how she lands and how they, you know. So, again, now if we go back to what we were talking about with baseball, look at the way the Olympics were back in the day compared to now. The gymnasts weren't built the way they are now. Swimmers and so on.
Right.
Everything. It's progressed because everything's gotten better as time goes on. So you really can't compare.
Man, the gymnasts used to be like skinny little girls.
Right.
I mean, they used to, they stop them from having puberty. Sometimes.
Right, yeah. To keep them so light and this way they can fly and flexible and all that other
there's
stuff.
a couple of 30-year-olds who were actually
Simone Biles.
27,
She's the oldest
gymnast right now
to win gold all around.
Yeah, right. 39 medals, bro.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of it. And then when you watch the swimmers, and I'm watching them, and they're doing like 5 or 6 laps.
No, it's 4, the 4
laps?
200.
And I'm
Dude,
like,
that's
what
insane.
and they're doing the breaststroke.
Yeah.
Forget about freestyle.
Oh,
And
bro.
it's like, oh my God. And
Listen.
the legs are kicking, they're moving. I'm like, you got to be in the maddest shape of your life to be able to do this. And you got to, you're kind of in awe a little bit. You're like, wow, it's incredible.
It is. They are. They were awesome. I said the Olympics is the first time that I haven't watched it consistently. You know what I mean? Because I did in the last Olympics. But I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm waiting for the highlights. Because that's what I do. I just sit there like,
well, when you go home, you can just, it'll be on. For sure.
Peacock has the
that's right.
The something of the day. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I was watching the men's swimming the other day. Just a freestyle, and they're going so fast and so powerful that it was like cartoon like how they were almost like floating on top of the water.
Right.
Like rather than like if I swim, but like chopping through the water.
Right. It's so smooth though.
Smooth
Right.
they go. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because they got the movements down.
Yeah. It's insane, bro.
And they're doing it all right. They're training all year long,
year
or a couple of years, or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
Certain countries can do it. I think they do it all the time. Like Russia's one that they probably train. I think they train all year like a professional all year long. Versus us, we don't really do it like that here.
Right.
And now that's why you can get professionals in the Olympics now, right? Because baseball's in the Olympics now too, isn't it? Or did they?
I think it always has. Now they in the actual sportsmen, like was it like the
Professionals?
Actually, professionals.
Yeah. Are they doing baseball?
I thought they were.
I thought they were too.
Well, maybe
I thought they were.
Maybe no. Don't. What do they do
They
when
do basketball. They do
basketball.
They do the basketball. I could have sworn they
tennis,
did it. Yep, tennis.
golf.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do baseball.
No, I'm gonna have to
Because
check
it's
on
baseball season now, so unless it's college,
Hockey.
and minor, but that's winter.
that. That's when
Because they actually take a break. The season takes a break for them.
No, they actually guys. Well, they probably do it around like the All-Star break or something like that, where these guys can go. But a lot of them go and then they come back, so they're not actually on the team. But I think they actually stopped them from doing it once for a year, and then they allowed them to do it again.
A break just like every 2 years or every 4 years for the
Every 4 years.
They may have. You might be right.
That they let them there's a break for them to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah, because it's every 2 years there's an Olympics.
Right.
The winter and then the summer.
Right. It used to be every 4.
Right. Yeah. So I looked it up. Yeah. It was every 4 years was
every
the
4
winter.
years.
They'd have the summer and the winter in the same year.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
And then
then
you
they
got to wait
switched
4
it up.
more years for it to go. So now
Yeah.
they just do it.
Right.
Yeah. Every 2 years is the other. Yeah.
Which actually is not a bad idea. You know,
No,
And then
I'm
so-
digging it.
Right, so there you go again. So now they changed it in order for it so it could be done more often. You know,
Right.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I think
There's
the
also a business end.
I think the networks get a couple dollars.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
just a little bit. Yeah. Just
There's
a couple.
business end.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they're doing pretty well. With that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no. Listen, I'm not like the super sports guy, but I like watching sports. Like I can't sit here and tell you everybody's name and all that other stuff,
Right.
but I like and I know, I like sports.
You know, the thing I will say though is the fact that there's going to be more frequency it's good for economic growth of cities and stuff like that. It's a big deal when the Olympics come
Yep.
to like a city.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they'll a lot of the cities will prep
Right.
for the Olympics.
Yeah, they have to.
build infrastructure for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like that's what they were trying. Remember, they were trying to talk about doing it in New York City, and it was going to be a big cluster.
Right.
But like they were like. But like they couldn't do. I don't think they were able to. They decided not to, right? In New York
Yeah,
City.
not here
I
in New
don't
York.
know. I don't
Yeah,
even
no,
remember.
yeah, they
I know
were
they
up
do
for
upstate for
like New York
upstate
State?
for
Yeah.
the
Calgary?
Winter Olympics.
Calgary.
Yeah, years ago they did that.
And
But
we're
you
going
look
back
at
to
a lot of
2035, I
places,
think.
they build up for the Olympics, and then once the Olympics gone,
Yeah.
these places
It's just they're deserted.
abandoned. Like,
Right.
like do a Google search of like abandoned Olympic stadiums. and
Yeah.
there's so many of them.
Right.
Well, aren't they going back to? They're going back to LA next one.
Because they're too big to be
For the
like a
summer- for the
concert
Summer
venue,
Olympics.
right?
And
And it's
Right.
It's
billion,
that big.
Yeah.
But see, so now here's the funny. So the Olympic
Kinda
Stadium
like
in LA,
repurposed them, you know?
right? They
Right.
use it for NASCAR.
Okay.
They do NASCAR races on the track. Now it's, they paved it out. So that's at the LA
Well, that's good.
one, right? So they're supposed to be coming back next year, and I think they say Utah
For the Olympics? Oh, for skiing.
for skiing.
winter, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
So
we had at Salt Lake City. Is that
yep.
what we had?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
so
know
it's
like
supposed to come back.
Sarajevo
Right.
is a whole abandoned stadium. Something in Japan, there's abandoned
Right.
stadiums.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, in
'Cause there's
the Montreal Expos used to play at Olympic Stadium.
Rio
Boston.
too, right?
Rio.
Rio,
Yep.
yeah. Like
Yeah, but they can't repurpose those.
yeah.
They could, but they don't.
don't. Yeah.
Right. Because I mean the pool is
It
there.
costs money.
Well, no, but I mean if the pool is there, right, it's already built. So technically it's paid for because everybody that came in, all the tourists and such, it's paid for. So now open it up.
And there's
Open-
housing there too.
And
'cause
there's
like
housing.
Olympic
So-
villages for
right.
people to live.
So
yeah, it's-
make that, use it.
And it's a good grounds for like festivals. too,
Right,
where they have,
exactly. That's what we're saying.
Like like these usual. I'm talking.
Yeah, like
food
Lollapalooza
festivals,
and-
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like stuff like that. Like it
Yeah.
could be anything.
Yeah, they can. They can do so much with it, and they just choose not to,
It's too much work.
But if you charge people to go in there,
Yeah.
then you can still use all those venues. As far as I'm
And
concerned.
everything, there's plumbing and all that stuff that's in there, so it's all set up. Like,
Yeah, right.
It would be perfect for because did you ever watch that documentary? Not to get too much off topic, that documentary they did about the Woodstock '99.
Right.
It was a big clusterfuck.
Yeah.
because they had they didn't have the plumbing and all that.
Yep.
It was a big mess.
For which one?
Woodstock.
Oh, the Woodstock
But
one.
if they, if there had been like a repurposed Olympic,
They could have used that.
Mm-hmm. They could use that
Absolutely.
for whatever,
Right.
I mean,
They couldn't do it at the time for whatever reason because I don't think they didn't open Bethel Woods or do that yet.
Right.
When that particular
Yeah.
Woodstock happened,
Yeah.
and that's why it was
When
such
did
Exactly.
a
Bethel
shit
open?
show.
I don't remember. When did Bethel open?
I don't even know.
It's got to be over
Like
close
after
to 20.
that?
It's got to be close to 20 years.
But
now,
after the
yeah,
Woodstock
I think
thing.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, after the second, because that
so.
second Woodstock was in the 90s. In the
Well, there was
Yeah, it
early
was the
mid-
90s, and it was bad.
Yeah.
They talk about it on PDH a lot.
About was the '99.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
anyway,
shit sucked.
Not to digress
Yeah,
too much.
but-
So,
Right, no,
No.
but that's
Back to
it's a
the-
valid point
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's what they do. They wind up they could have used it, but what I was going to say earlier was Lake Placid.
Lake
Right.
They're
Placid.
supposed to be having another Winter Olympics.
Okay.
I think 2030
Oh.
something.
I think that's
That'd
still
be
active.
cool.
Like, 'cause I know people who go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
they do,
still
yeah,
train
yeah.
up there and
And
they
they're
Right.
do that.
skiing,
Yeah.
skiing up there and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So
there'll be
that
enough
stuff-
snow.
Yeah. So hey, that was a famous one too. 1980, the
Yeah.
American team beat the Russians in hockey.
Yep.
And then they won the gold against
Yep.
Sweden, I think
Do
it
you
was.
believe in miracles?
Yeah.
That was great, man.
Remember that?
I still get chills watching that. When
Yeah.
I see that, I'm like,
Yeah.
movie about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the
They
alligator.
have-
Lake
they
Placid.
have,
That
or
was the
something
gator.
like that.
Lake Placid.
No, I was talking about the where they played the
Oh, the
Russian
hockey.
team, the hockey.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lake Placid.
Miracle. Called Miracle. Kurt Russell.
Oh, that was the name of it. Oh, that's right. It was called Miracle.
That was a decent movie. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you're talking about Lake Placid, the horror movie? Is that
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
was telling
I
him.
was
Yeah,
talking about that.
there's a
The
gator.
alligator?
Yeah, the alligator come out.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that's funny as hell. But no, but listen, man. Sports and like you guys said, sports has come a long way. These athletes, they live, breathe, eat these sports. For them that they want to be the greatest. They just always getting it.
Yep.
So yeah, I do. I appreciate them. I'm at the same time with you. I'm like, you know what? You don't need a day off, bro. Like you got 3 months or whatever.
Your toes broken.
Yeah,
or
your toes.
whatever.
Yeah, tape that
Tape
bitch
it
up.
bro.
Keep it moving.
Really, you're
Yeah.
making all that money?
Yeah.
I'd be out playing.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
If I didn't play golf, if I didn't play golf because I was injured, I'd never play golf.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning with a bad back, bad
Yeah.
feet, something twinkling.
Right, right.
But again, I'm not a professional.
But
athlete.
then-
I'm
But
not
those guys
claiming-
have issues,
not
though.
claiming
Right.
it.
Well,
So-
look, you just speaking of, he says golf, Tiger Woods. After he's got probably like 100 freaking rods and everything in his leg after that last
car
accident. And he's out there right now.
Yeah,
And he was just playing before. He's out there rooting his son on now because his son is playing.
Right.
I'm like, man, Tiger Woods.
He was the bomb back in the day.
Just saying, yeah, bro. He's still playing good. I think he finished like third. I think,
Nah, he's been missing. He missed the last 2 cuts,
Right.
Tournaments, but the guy's
Still.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't like watching golf without him.
Right.
Like he introduced me to golf, and that's around when I started playing and started watching. And I just find tournaments when he's not in the mix very boring.
That's funny because I find them.
Well, some of these newer players are really good.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not Tiger.
Yeah,
they don't have
it.
that. They don't have that. Like you had to watch Tiger. It was like you have to watch when Judge is up. Right. Like there's certain Tiger was that guy. Like
people go,
like on a Saturday, with a 2-stroke lead or 5-stroke lead, you just had to watch because what was he going to do?
Right.
When he got a lead, he didn't give it up, and unfortunately now he doesn't get the leads anymore. So he's gone early.
And how old is he now? What is he? Not that it matters because these guys can play into their 60s, 70s if they want to.
He's 48. So
yep. But the girls are insane in golf, bro.
Yeah.
I forgot.
And look at the shape they're in.
Yeah.
Compared to way women golfers were back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Men
looking at
too.
this, I love looking at the shape they're in.
I know.
Women's golf has evolved.
Yeah.
Let me tell
but
you.
even the men, if you look at them, they work out. Their arms are bigger.
Yeah.
Their shoulders, everything. These guys are training like
They're starting to train like athletes.
Yeah.
Right.
Where, like,
Exactly.
As it was like you just had this natural talent and how to hit the ball the right way.
Now they're
there's,
doing
like,
everything.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
But everything is, I guess, almost everything is a sport, and I guess we'll say, for that kind of entertainment, because now video gamers, they're doing things now, to be athletic. They're working out, they're eating better. They're getting their focus on, they're training
They're
differently.
not sitting up and drinking energy drinks all night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Red Bull all night. Oh, what are you doing? They're not doing that. They're actually, they're doing these things. Drones. They have drone races. Have you ever watched the drone races?
No.
So
That'd be awesome to watch.
Because you're sitting, they have that Oculus thing on there, and they're flying through these stadiums, malls.
VR headset.
Yeah, and because that's how they're flying it.
Oh wow!
So the guys are sitting in like this on the chairs, and they've got the VR glasses
Virtual
on,
reality.
and they're flying. They're like this, and you watch them. They're doing their whole training and getting everything ready for that.
They go through like buildings.
They're going through buildings. They do like they did. I was watching like 2 seasons ago, and they do it through abandoned malls or just abandoned buildings, old warehouses and factories and whatnot. They have the whole setup, and everybody's got the same. They have technicians.
They can go to all the different Olympic villages.
Yeah, right, and do it there.
We can repurpose it for drone racing.
Yep,
The
they're all over
military's
the
using
place.
it now too.
Right, so they're racing those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be cool if we get the day where it's like Star Wars and we have like pilot drones that we can race.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
like,
if you
light. What do they call them? Light aircrafts.
Right.
It's like you don't need a pilot's license because it's considered a light aircraft.
Right.
And you could go in the course.
But you do the course because so if you get Red Bull TV shows all of those, and they have the guys with the little airplanes, and they're literally going through slaloms and whatnot.
To build a giant drone, you
Yeah.
could probably pilot it.
I'm telling you, got to watch all these things, bro,
dangerous,
because you're gonna bug out.
The bigger drones, you need to be licensed to fly.
Right.
You do.
So,
Yeah.
Like not the ones you get at like.
Yeah, not the
at a
little
toy
ones.
store.
Yeah,
No,
like
like
the
like
the helicopters. Right.
Like, I'm sure, like, obviously you wouldn't be able to fly them around town, but you know what I mean? I'm sure in like a closed course, you'd be able to get a special license for something.
And I think you only can go so high,
Right.
with them anyway because of planes.
Well, that's where you have to have
and
the
things
license.
Right, you have to have the
It's
license.
like 400 feet.
But if it was like
Right.
a closed
Yeah,
course,
something
you
like
might
that.
be able to go a little higher because it would be like a no-fly zone or something. You know, I'm going a little out there with it. But, yeah.
But what he was saying about made me think. Now they have the flying go-karts. Now they have where you're actually in the air,
awesome.
maybe go as high as my house, and you're flying, and they fly for a good 30 to 40 minutes.
I haven't seen that yet.
would be
Yeah,
a
man,
cool race.
they're
What?
freaking amazing. You
And that's
sit in
probably
it.
just
It's like
based
a
on
go
battery
kart, but it's like
power.
a cage, and it
Meet
it
George
lifts you up.
Jackson.
It's great, man.
yeah, I know.
And they're
his
fast,
daughter,
because it's
Really?
Oh, it's amazing, and
That's
anybody can do it because
insane.
it's like steering a car
Why
with your
Right.
feet in
can't
the
we
air. You know,
get that scaled a little bigger and make that our vehicles?
you can't do
No,
that,
bro, because
That'll
you
never
know,
happen.
just,
I know. No,
we
we'll never-
can't. Yeah, we can't do that.
because,
We can't barely
people
drive
can't
on the
drive
road.
on
I mean, people, I think we had this podcast.
Yeah, we had that
already.
on the podcast. Driving,
we had this
driving
podcast.
lessons by Keny.
Yeah, but
Flying-
again, all the technologies is
We'll
getting
always
more
find
and
something
more.
to crash into.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially a building. I mean,
Yeah.
like, come
Or
on.
fall out of the sky.
Right.
Then just so somebody
Hello?
fall asleep.
And then you go to somebody's house. I mean, it's
exactly.
like instead of driving through, we're falling through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is
Crashing
too
But
into.
for
funny.
racing, it would be cool.
Yeah,
Racing,
no,
it
it
would
would
be
be.
cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There was a video
Absolutely.
game like that, F-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was, like I said, I like sports. I'm more like, I love cars and like the motorsports. I love the motorsports. I said I have Red Bull TV. I watch all that stuff, and
Right.
it's just insane. And a lot of the stuff that they do in Red Bull, they just take it to like the 100th level. Between baseball, football, like the things that they have them do. BMX, it's insane. It's bananas, and they do it just to get people to watch more. X Games, to bring all that stuff to
Right.
life and whatnot. Oh my God, it's just amazing. And like even now, when these kids in football are training, they're throwing the ball and then they're running and catching what they threw. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. The athletes are so much
Yeah.
stronger and
Yeah.
faster and everything.
Yep.
It's just incredible how far you can push the body. I was watching breakdancing is an Olympic
Yes,
sport now
you see that?
in the Summer Olympics.
And it's a Red Bull back.
And check, when you look at it now compared to when we were
I
doing it,
think
right?
we need to get sponsored by Red Bull.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yes.
when we were doing it,
yeah,
when it was
yeah.
happening when we were growing up, right? It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you look at it, and these guys are doing stuff
Yeah.
like they could do things with their bodies that
Yeah.
they didn't even think of doing back then. And back then, we thought what we were doing was already crazy
Yeah.
and nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just
It's insane, bro. It's just, like I said, I love sports. I love the entertainment of it. I think it's just fantabulous, bro. I love it. I like it. I love it.
Now, do they have
Almost
to,
a
like,
moment.
for the breakdancing in the Olympic sports?
They'd bring their own cardboard.
They have to bring their own cardboard?
no, I don't know. I think they already have it set
Set
up.
up-
with
set up-
Yeah, they have the floors
But that
waxed
would
and
be
polished
funny,
and
right?
whatnot.
You're disqualified.
Yeah.
You brought a refrigerator box. Here's a stove box.
Yeah.
Not
No,
allowed
that. Yeah. But then the funny with that is they don't do
Or
the
your
same
own
things.
linoleum is
Yeah.
really
Oh,
what guys
yeah.
used to
That's
do.
what that. Like I said, that's the kind.
They
That's
would
what they
roll
have.
that out, and that's what they would do.
But they don't do the same moves. They don't do the same spins, the back spins, the windmills. They don't do all that same
Nah,
stuff.
they don't watch
Now it's
breaking.
different.
No,
They
no,
don't
it's
watch
not. They didn't watch
They're not popping
breaking.
and stopping?
Yeah,
What
no,
is this
they didn't
for?
do none of
What
that.
is this,
They kind, yeah, they changed it up a little bit.
In the Olympics,
Yeah.
breakdance in Olympic sports.
Yeah.
Yep. I was asking Tanya, is pickleball in it yet? But at some
No,
point,
not yet.
it's going.
Yeah, they probably do it next Olympics. They'll
I
probably
like
do
the
it.
obscure stuff.
Yeah.
They'll do it again.
Yeah,
they're
they'll
going to
get
get that one in there eventually. Because if you're going to get all that other stuff, you got to get pickleball because
Yeah.
it's taking off. I mean, everybody's doing it now.
Oh, speaking of racing, though, they did it in my town. It got hype. People were talking about it, like, "Oh, we should bring it back," and they brought it back for a couple of years. But they did bed racing. Bed racing.
I
Red Bull.
see that.
Red
They
Bull
put
bed
the
racing.
bed frame on
Yeah.
wheels,
Yeah.
and people decorate them up,
Yeah.
Okay.
make all kinds of
Yeah.
they race them. But
my
they did
God.
it like it was like someone brought this article out on like the Butler group. That's
Yeah.
the time, and where like they talked about like, oh, look, in the 70s they did the bed racing, and like people were like, oh, let's do that again, and they did it for like 2 years, and then like it just faded off.
But there's no motor. Like, it's just
No,
pushing
no,
it.
just
yeah,
pushing.
yeah,
Yeah, they all
Like
pushing
those
and going down the hill.
soapbox
Never-
races.
Yeah, right.
so
Yeah,
basically.
When I
exactly.
think about when I see the bed being pushed, hey, with the monkeys.
Yo, dude, wow. Yeah, that's a throwback
I
there.
remember that.
Because they
That
were
is a
pushing the
throwback.
bed
They're pushing
around
the
there
bed,
with the
that's right.
sheet.
That
Yes,
is
I
too
remember that.
freaking fun. But so with that, my gentlemen, that is our time.
Wow.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You see how it happens? This
Oh,
comes
yeah,
in really
just-
quick,
just
man.
goes smooth, man.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
all right.
yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks
Appreciate
for having me
you being
again,
here.
man.
We're gonna have him
Keep-
come back
keep the
because
invite match coming,
yeah,
man. I love it.
this
great.
is next one. We'll actually talk about the teams themselves and
Yeah.
so you're gonna come back.
Yeah,
another
we're
one.
going to pick a good topic again
Yeah.
or something.
Well, no, I'm saying the sports was a good one because
Right.
we're way over what we would normally be. Like, you know what I mean?
And probably can go for another
Yeah,
hour.
we
or
probably
two.
could.
Probably
Yeah,
could. We probably
yeah,
could.
talking about all the stuff, but you know,
On that
yeah,
note-
and that was just the topic, the surface of sports.
Right.
So
Yeah, we didn't even go into specific.
That being
yeah,
said,
yeah. So love, peace, and hair grease.
live long and prosper.
And go vegan.
Holla.